October 26th, and this is your coffee break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, bringing you today's news, including the latest on a fatal accident in Trumbull over the weekend, counseling being offered to students in Fairfield, and much more. Rob Adams will join us to talk weather and high school sports, and Donald Ang will take a look back on this day in history. But first, Trumbull police have identified the two Bridgeport drivers who collided in a fatal crash on Nichols Avenue around 9 Saturday morning. Lieutenant Leonard Cinto said that the victim was 62-year-old Fank Ng of Bridgeport. Witnesses told police Ng's vehicle was struck getting off of Route 8 southbound and turning onto Nichols Avenue, where a second vehicle was headed northbound on the state road and hit the driver's side of Ng's vehicle. The driver of the second car was identified as 42-year-old Walter Mayorga of Bridgeport. Lieutenant Cinto said that in a press release Sunday. Mayorga's 13-year-old son was also in the car, and both were taken to Bridgeport Hospital to be treated for non-life-threatening injuries. Ng was transported to St. Vincent's Hospital but succumbed to her injuries, Lieutenant Cinto said. No one has been charged, and the fatal accident is under investigation, police said. The department's traffic division will be handling that investigation. Trumbull firefighters and Trumbull EMS extricated both drivers from their respective cars, and Stratford EMS also responded to the scene. That section of Nichols Avenue was closed for 6 hours on Saturday. In other news, counseling is being made available at Fairfield schools Monday after at least 3 of the town's 17 public schools received phone calls from someone threatening violence with guns or pipe bombs on Friday. All public schools were placed in lockdown for about 2 hours, and some private and parochial schools went into some level of secure mode as well. Fairfield Superintendent David Title said in a press release Monday that in the wake of Friday's lockdown, many may be experiencing feelings of anxiety and the effects of post-traumatic stress. Title said that to assist, they will have crisis counselors available for anyone in need today from 3 to 7 in the evening at the library of both Fairfield Ludlow High School and Fairfield Ward High School. Title said that if anyone you know is in need of support, please share this information within the community. He said, quote, "We will have information for you about community resources, talking points for addressing your children, and crisis counselors available for individuals if needed." He said help is here for those in need. Title also reminded parents to update notification preferences on the school's Infinite Campus system, which he said is the district's primary way of communication with families about emergencies. Police told school leaders that all Fairfield schools were safe and ready to open as of Saturday morning. Well, according to the Associated Press, a hiker fell to his death at West Rock Ridge State Park over the weekend. A witness called 911 around 5:30 Sunday evening to report a man had fallen from a cliff while hiking. New Haven fire personnel found the man's body at the bottom of the cliff. New Haven firefighters responded to West Rock to perform a high-angle rescue halfway up the mountain around 6 in the evening on Sunday, according to the department's Twitter page. Upon arrival, crews began searching for the victim, who had reportedly fallen a few hundred feet. A rescuer made it down the cliff and confirmed that the victim was a young adult male and he was deceased. The exact cause of death will be determined by an autopsy. Crews secured the scene for the night, and emergency crews returned to West Rock Ridge State Park on Monday morning to recover the body of the hiker. They finished the recovery operation just before 9 a.m. this morning, according to the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection. Well, Whole Foods Market is recalling bulk and packaged curry chicken salad and classic deli pasta salad sold in their stores in Maine, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New York, and New Jersey because it has the potential to be contaminated with Listeria monocytogenes, an organism which can cause serious and sometimes fatal infections in young children, frail or elderly people, and others with weakened immune systems. Although healthy individuals may suffer only short-term symptoms such as high fever, severe headache, nausea, and other symptoms, Listeria infection can cause miscarriages and stillbirths among pregnant women. Consumers should seek immediate medical care if they develop these symptoms. No illnesses have yet been reported. The salads were sold pre-packaged in salad bars in the store's chef cases and in sandwiches and wraps prepared in the stores. The affected products were sold in stores between October 18th and October 22nd and have a sell-by date of October 23rd. A sampling of the products tested positive for listeria during a routine inspection of Whole Foods Market North Atlantic kitchen facility. Consumers who have purchased this product from Whole Foods Market should discard it and bring their receipt to the store for a full refund. Consumers with questions can contact their local store or call 617-492-5500 between the hours of 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. Well, in Fairfield, several residents were displaced from their homes early Monday when an attic fire erupted in a Berry Lane Court duplex. Shortly before 3 a.m., Fairfield firefighters responded to the report of a fire behind 12 Berry Lane Court. Upon arrival, Assistant Chief George Gomala, the incident commander, reported the fire in the rear of the two-family structure and heavy smoke coming from the attic. The 3 occupants of the affected side of the duplex had reported the fire and were waiting safely outside. Firefighters then evacuated the residents of the adjacent unit, home to a mother, her teenage daughter, and the family cat. Through a quick, coordinated fire attack, Fairfield firefighters extinguished the fire and prevented it from spreading. The cause of the fire is being investigated by the fire marshal's office. Well, it's turned out to be a tough deer culling season in Ridgefield, according to the town's huntmaster, because of an unexpected abundance of acorns. Stefano Zandri, the huntmaster appointed by the Deer Committee to oversee all bow, shotgun, and muzzleloader hunting on the town open space land for the season, said the deer are so sated with an abundance of acorns this season that they don't venture out in the daytime to find food. Local deer culling in Ridgefield is meant to supplement the regular deer hunting that goes on at state park lands in town. The culling takes place at town open spaces, and it began October 12th and ends January 31st. No rifles are permitted. Bow and arrow, shotgun, and muzzleloader guns are the only weapons allowed. Muzzleloaders are the old-fashioned guns like those used in the 1700s. The problem is that the deer are active feeding at night and they rest all day, Zandri said. He said deer feed at night and there is so much food out there, so in the daytime they're just not up and moving. A total of 15 hunters have signed up for the Ridgefield cull, a couple more than last year. Last year they shot 79 deer, and this year they hope to bag closer to 100 of the whitetails. Whatever venison is not kept by the hunters to feed their own families is donated to the local soup kitchens. The extra hunting, called culling, was believed to be necessary because of the large number of deer in town. At least once a week there is a police report of a deer being struck by an automobile on a local or state road. Well, time to throw it over to Rob Adams right now for a look at today's weather. Rob?
Kate, good morning, everyone. Let's take a look outside. We've got a sunny day with a high near 56. The wind a little heavy, 8 to 10, not too bad. We've got patchy frost after 4 a.m. tonight, otherwise clear with a low around 35 and calm wind to Tuesday. Patchy frost before 9, otherwise mostly sunny, a high near 56. Light and variable wind becoming northeast around 5 in the morning, 5 miles per hour in the morning, that is. Mostly cloudy for Tuesday night, a low 43. Rain Wednesday, mainly after 2 in the afternoon. Otherwise, a high near 63. East wind from 10 to 15 and a chance of precipitation 80%. Showers and possibly a thunderstorm Wednesday night. Some of the storms could produce heavy rain with a low of 58. Thursday, showers before 10 a.m. Then we gradually get mostly sunny and a high near 63. Got some soccer coming up Thursday, so we like that forecast. Partly cloudy, 43 for your low on Thursday night, sunny and 56 for Friday. The weekend looking like it's going to hover around the 50s with sunny and cloudy skies. Ridgefield has 47, Darien has 48, and in Shelton it's 51 degrees, Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Rob. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, Donald Eng will take a look back in history, and Rob Adams will be joining us again to talk high school sports. That's coming up on your coffee break after this.
When you experience a sports injury, you want to get better and fast. Coastal Ortho Express gives you direct access to orthopedic care quickly. Their physicians are fellowship trained in sports medicine at world-class universities and are also team doctors for area football teams. For specialized personal care of sports injuries, go to Coastal Ortho Express. Open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building, 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or coastalorthoexpress.com. Coastal Orthopedics, keeping you on the move.
Darien Sports Shop is a unique store because it's a family store. A busy mom can come in with kids in tow and find everything she needs for them, and even find a dress for herself for Saturday night. And if she's in a rush, she can simply go home and order it from us that night. We'll deliver it the next day. The Darien Sport Shop. We're pretty on the outside and amazing on the inside. Conveniently located with free and easy parking at 1127 Post Road, Darien, Connecticut. Or shop us online at dariensport.com.
Football University, the nation's leading football training experience, is now accepting applications for its 2015 camps. Our elite faculty of NFL coaches and top professionals teach position-specific on the field and in the classroom to improve your football IQ and help you reach your full potential as a player. Apply today at footballuniversity.org. Football University, where technique plus talent beats talent alone.
The fall bite is heating up. Albies, bonita, blackfish, alligator blues, and stripers are following the large schools of bait in the Long Island Sound. This is the time to visit the New England coast, and the Dock Shop can get you outfitted with the latest fishing gear, jackets, hats, gloves, and fleece. Boater, beach bum, fishermen simply love the New England coast. This is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, now in 2 locations, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
You are watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. 102,000 viewers have enjoyed the HAN Network in just the last 6 weeks. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Jessica Murrin, Advertising Director, at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
When you experience
And we're back on this Monday edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski. Time to throw it over to Donald Ang for a look back on this day in history. Don?
Well, Kate, nothing says patriotic like a government spying program, but first we go to 1825. The Erie Canal opens. The canal spans 400 miles from Albany to Lake Erie through the Appalachian Mountains. Construction took 8 years, and its completion was one of the factors that allowed New York to become the economic center of the new country. 1881, the gunfight at the OK Corral takes place in Tombstone, Arizona. The shootout was not well known until the 1930s, when a dime store Western novel made it famous. It's also a case that when legend conflicts with historical account, the legend always wins. 1977, in Somalia, aid worker Ali Malin is diagnosed with smallpox. Now, why is that news? Malin was the last person ever known to have contracted the disease, which had killed an estimated 400 million people in the 20th century alone. Its eradication in 1979 is considered the most spectacular success of vaccinations. Malin, by the way, would recover from smallpox, and he lived 36 more years. He died in 2013 of malaria, contracted in a remote region of Somalia, while working as a volunteer to help eradicate polio through a vaccination program. And finally, in 2001, there was this.
The evil ones. This government will enforce this law with all the urgency of a nation at war. The elected branches of our government and both political parties are united in our resolve to find and stop and punish those who would do harm to the American people. It is now my honor to sign into law the USA Patriot Act of 2001.
That was President George W. Bush signing into law the USA Patriot Act. It's a 10-letter backronym, actually. It stands for Uniting and Strengthening America by Providing Appropriate Tools Required to Intercept and Obstruct Terrorism Act of 2001. Thank goodness for acronyms. The law gave broad powers to government agencies to collect data and conduct surveillance against suspected terrorists. The Patriot Act expired June 1st of this year, although the USA Freedom Act, passed the following day, restored most of the government powers with the notable exception of the mass NSA data mining of phone calls originating from and concluding in the United States. That's your look back in history. Hope they're not watching. I'm Donald Ding.
All right, thanks, Don. Well, before we throw it over to Rob Adams for high school sports, getting back to a little news today. when the New Canaan Town Council chose on Wednesday not to vote on adding $155,000 to a bond resolution for Lapham Community Center repairs because of its audit committee statement that they do not want to be associated with the town's financial statements, that was the first official signal that the audit committee's position could affect the operations of town government. That vote postponement by the council on October 21st was just 24 hours after the audit committee issued an email announcing it was suspending its work on behalf of the town effective November 1st. On the second day after the audit committee's announcement on Thursday, October 22nd, First Selectman Rob Malazzi said he was still digesting all that is going on and he was not prepared to state what specific actions he would take to control the effect of the audit committee's standing down. Malazzi told the New Canaan Advertiser that he had spoken with professionals on Thursday and no one is in panic mode. One of the audit committee's reasons for stepping away from responsibility over town financials is that they directed that certain actions be taken by the town. And while some actions may have been taken, all the suggested actions have not been accomplished. The pace of municipal government is not satisfactory, according to the audit committee's statement. They said in that statement that these serious deficiencies and others which remain uncorrected, despite frequent requests, renders the audit committee uncertain as to its role and puts the audit committee in a position of not wanting to be associated with the issuance of the town's financial statements. There's a lot more on that story at ncadvertiser.com. Going to throw it over to Rob now for the latest in sports. Rob?
All right, Kate, thanks once again, and good morning, everyone. A couple of scores from over the weekend. First and foremost, before we get to football, let's hit a couple of other things. Boys soccer, it was Norwalk over Ridgefield 2-0. In field hockey, Cheshire 1, Greenwich 0. Darien took care of Daniel Hand 4-1. New Canaan topped New Milford in a battle of the news 1-0. On Saturday, Joel Barlow beat Staples 4-3, and then yesterday, Staples beat Ludlow 5-1. Now to the football schedule, and what do we have for you from over the weekend? We'll start on Friday. First of all, so many people talking about it, and the balance of power kind of shifting, at least for a moment, in the FCAC. Ridgefield 31, Staples 27. So right now, Darien in control in the division. However, they do still have a head-to-head matchup with the Staples Wreckers, or rather, Darien in control in the division. They have a head-to-head matchup with the Wreckers, a game we'll carry on November 14th. Also a bit of an upset. Wilton 30, Stamford 27. Norwalk took care of West Hill 14-0. Down to the SEC we go. These are Friday scores. Amity over Hamden 49-20. Shelton 42, Xavier 7. The Gales just keep rolling on. East Haven 29, Sheehan 0. Hillhouse over Law 53-20. North Haven and West Haven both with wins. New Milford a win in the SWC. New Fairfield took care of Bethel. Bunnell over Brookfield in overtime 28-21. Newtown a win over Barlow 41-0. And Stratford beat Weston 14-9. To Saturday we go. And Trumbull all over Bridgeport Central early 37-0. Trinity Catholic knocked off Fairfield Ludlow 37-20. Darien 49. Danbury 6. St. Joseph knocked off Fairfield Ward 49-28. And in a bit of a surprise, New Canaan 24, Greenwich 14. Greenwich did play well. Don and I will talk much more about this game during Nutmeg Sports at 2 o'clock today. But those who thought that it'd be a blowout, not so much. The Cardinals able to keep it to a 10-point game, though there are no such things as moral victories. Massac over Notre Dame of Fairfield 34-7, and Bassac over CREC 34-6. On your Monday schedule, we've got boys soccer. Ridgefield is at Stamford, Trinity Catholic home for St. Joseph, Norwalk at Wilton, Staples at Danbury, West Hill is at Central, Trumbull home for Darien, and Ludlow at McMahon. Norwalk is at Ward in field hockey with Staples at Greenwich, Ludlow home for St. Joseph, and Newtown is at Ridgefield. Girls volleyball, Ludlow at Danbury, Stamford at Trumbull, Norwalk home for St. Joseph, McMahon at Greenwich, Darien at Central, Ridgefield at Trinity Catholic, New Canaan at Wilton, and Staples at Ward. We have field hockey tomorrow at Dunning Stadium in New Canaan, and then we're back at it, off for a day. Thursday we get going. We're expecting to have a boys soccer quarterfinal. We think we know where. We think we know when. We'll let you know when we're sure. Not 100% sure yet, so we're not going to say exactly where and when just yet. then football Friday, and then on to the Halloween weekend with sports. I'm Rob Adams. Kate, back over to you.
All right, thanks so much, Rob. Well, time to get back to some news today. In Wilton, the Board of Finance approved the Wilton Police Department's request to receive a $60,000 in funding through a 2016 comprehensive DUI grant during its October 20th meeting. The grant would allow the department to patrol and look for intoxicated drivers using enforcement techniques like DUI checkpoints. It would also allow more officers than usual to patrol at a time. The grant will be used for holidays with high likelihood of intoxicated drivers, such as Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, 4th of July, Memorial Day, and Labor Day. Captain Thomas Conlon told the Finance Board that it would also be used for enforcement of days like the Super Bowl, St. Patrick's Day, and Cinco de Mayo. The state will pick up about $45,000 of the grant, according to Conlon, and the town will ultimately be responsible for about $13,000 of it. DUI arrests in Wilton were cut in half last year. Conlon said the department has a lot of new officers, and it is trying to get them all the extra training because the DUI course that's offered a couple of times a year, and he's hoping that will enhance their ability to detect this violation. Well, a Stratford painting contractor was sentenced to 30 days in jail after pleading guilty to filing false tax returns. 66-year-old Ronald Battaglia was sentenced on Friday in U.S. District Court, according to Deirdre Daly, a U.S. attorney for the District of Connecticut. According to court documents and statements made in court, Battaglia, owner of Custom Painting, failed to provide his tax preparer with information concerning more than $867,000 in gross receipts that he received from 2008 to 2012. Daly said Battaglia failed to report and pay some $277,000 over those 5 years. In the returns that he filed, indicated that he owed just less than $47,000. Daly said an investigation by the Internal Revenue Service Criminal Investigations Division showed Battaglia's clients typically paid him by check. Daly said Battaglia then cashed the checks at his bank and received money for the full value of the check, or he made a split deposit, receiving some cash and depositing the balance into his business. The amounts of the transactions were typically less than $10,000. Battaglia pleaded guilty to one count of filing a false tax return in July. In addition to the jail term, Battaglia was sentenced by U.S. District Judge Victor Bolden to 1 year of supervised release. He has paid the $277,000 he owed and will have to pay more than $250,000 in penalties. Well, there's some scary Halloween facts courtesy of AAA saying that nearly 40% of fatal crashes nationally on Halloween night involve a drunk driver. And 1/3 of those crash fatalities involve a pedestrian, and fatal injuries on Halloween nearly double when the holiday falls on a Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. On Halloween, motorists need to be especially vigilant between the hours of 4 p.m. and midnight when pedestrians are most vulnerable. As a result, AAA Northeast advises drivers to slow down to watch for trick-or-treaters who may cross between parked cars or mid-block. And because Halloween has evolved into such a popular adult holiday, AAA also recommends party-going adults designate a sober driver to take them home at the evening's close. Going to throw it over to Rob Adams again for another look at today's weather. Rob?
Nice looking day outside, Kate. Sunny, a high near 56 with a north wind from 8 to 10. Patchy frost after 4 tonight. Otherwise clear with a low around 35. Patchy frost before 9 tomorrow morning. Otherwise mostly sunny, high near 56. Tuesday night mostly cloudy, low 43. And Wednesday rain mainly after 2. Heavy at times as we move into Wednesday night with a thunderstorm possible. New rainfall amounts could be upwards of possibly an inch and a half. Showers likely before 10 a.m. Thursday, then gradually becoming mostly sunny with a high near 63, 43 for the low. On Thursday night, we have 47 in Ridgefield. Darien has 48 and Shelton has 51 degrees, Kate.
Thanks, Rob. Well, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to recap some of our top stories today. That's coming up on your coffee break after this.
In Pound Ridge since 1993, the Wine Connection is one of America's best wine shops. Visit our beautiful store for the greatest in wine and knowledgeable service. With wonderful values from around the world to collectibles for your cellar, we are your one-stop source. Visit our online shop at wineconn.com and make sure to sign up for email updates. With great offers, new arrivals, and special events, don't miss all the action at the Wine Connection, including tastings every weekend. The Wine Connection, located at 32 Westchester Avenue, Pound Ridge, New York.
It's time to come back to hometown banking, where people are taken into account, not just balances. Where community comes first. A place where there's more than one kind of interest. Where automation will never replace consideration. Where they not only know your name, they know your dog's name too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well. Bank smart. Bank local. Bank well.
Back to school means back to busy, and Stewart's Market can save you precious time by stocking all of your favorite essentials under one roof. For a healthy start to school, we have all the ingredients. Walter Stewart's, your family-owned fresh local market, 229 Elm Street and at stewartsmarket.com.
Tired of all the bull? Relax and enjoy the experience of buying a car at Panby Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram. No bull allowed.
Healthy, confident smiles begin at Stratford Orthodontics. Conveniently located on Main Street, we are Stratford's hometown orthodontist. We offer the latest in orthodontic technology, including Damon braces and Invisalign. We always accept new patients. Call today to schedule a complimentary consultation. 203-375-8332. Stratford Orthodontics, 2499 Main Street, Stratford. 203-375-8332. And online at stratfordsmile.com. Healthy.
And we're back on this Monday edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, bringing you today's news. Trumbull police have identified the two Bridgeport drivers who collided in a fatal crash on Nichols Avenue around 9 Saturday morning. Trumbull Lieutenant Leonard Cinto said that the victim was Fake Ing, 62 years old, of Bridgeport. Witnesses told police that Ing's vehicle was struck getting off of Route 8 southbound and turning onto Nichols Avenue, where a second vehicle was headed northbound on the state road and hit the driver's side of Ing's vehicle. The driver of the second car was identified as 42-year-old Walter Mayorga of Bridgeport. Mayorga's 13-year-old son was also in the car, and both were taken to Bridgeport Hospital to be treated with non-life-threatening injuries. Ing was transported to St. Vincent's Hospital but died of her injuries. According to police, no one has been charged and the fatal accident is under investigation. The department's traffic division will be handling that investigation. Trumbull firefighters and Trumbull EMS extricated both drivers from their respective cars, and Stratford EMS also responded to the scene. That section of Nichols Avenue was closed for 6 hours on Saturday. Well, counseling is being made available at Fairfield schools today after at least 3 of the town's 17 public schools received phone calls from someone threatening violence with guns or pipe bombs on Friday. All public schools were placed in lockdown for around 2 hours, and some private and parochial schools nearby went into some level of secure mode as well. Fairfield Superintendent David Title said in a press release today that in the wake of Friday's lockdown, many may be experiencing feelings of anxiety and the effects of post-traumatic stress. Title said that to assist, they will have crisis counselors available for anyone in need today from 3 in the afternoon to 7 at night at the library of both Fairfield Ludlow High School and Fairfield Ward High School. Title said that if anyone you know is in need of support, please share this information within the community. He said, quote, "We will have information for you about community resources, talking points for addressing your children, and crisis counselors available for individuals if needed." He said help is here for those in need. Title also reminded parents to update notification preferences on the school's Infinite Campus system, which he said is the district's primary way of communication with families about emergencies. Police told school leaders that all Fairfield schools were safe and ready to open as of Saturday morning. Authorities say that a hiker fell to his death at West Rock Ridge State Park over the weekend. A witness called 911 around 5:30 Sunday evening to report a man had fallen from a cliff while hiking. New Haven fire personnel found the man's body at the bottom of the cliff. Firefighters responded to West Rock to perform a high-angle rescue halfway up the mountain around 6 o'clock on Sunday, according to the department's Twitter page. Upon arrival, crews began searching for the victim, who had reportedly fallen a few hundred feet. A rescuer made it down the cliff and confirmed that the victim was a young adult male and deceased. The exact cause of death will be determined by an autopsy. Crews secured the scene for the night, and emergency crews returned to the West Rock Ridge State Park today to recover the body of the hiker. They finished the recovery operation just before 9:30 a.m., according to the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection, and we'll bring you updates on that story as they become available. But before we wrap up this coffee break, gonna take one last look at the weather with Rob Adams. Rob?
All right, Kate, thank you. As we wrap things up for your coffee break, a sunny day, high near 56. Patchy frost after 4 tonight. In the morning, of course. So otherwise, clear and low with a low around 35. Patchy frost before 9 tomorrow morning, mostly sunny, high 56. 43 for the low tomorrow night. Rain mainly after 2 on Wednesday afternoon, high near 63. Ridgefield has 48. Darien has improved to 49. It's 52 in Shelton.
All right, thanks so much, Rob. Well, that's going to do it for your coffee break today. Nutmeg Sports coming up at 2, and I'll be back tomorrow at 11 with the latest news. Have a great Monday, everyone.